Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to math. Today we're gonna be working on sine and cosine functions. All right, just make sure that you write what I have on the board. Our objective for today is to know the difference between a sine and a cosine function. Okay, I have both on the board. I have a sine and a cosine. Make sure you write them down. I'm gonna step out of the screen here. All right, now that you have both of those on a piece of paper, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're today only dealing with the parent function, okay? The parent function for each one is y sine of x and y equals cosine of x, okay? Obviously, sometimes you might have an a. That a only tells you how high and how low you're gonna go. Since there's no a, today it's only one, okay, on both of them. But if I would have had a 4, then we have to go up 4, down 4. But again, there's no number, so we're gonna pretend there's a 1. Because there's no number, it's always 1. Okay, so our parent function for this first problem is gonna be y equals sine of pi over half, okay? Which means that every half of pi, we're gonna have a dot, okay? The only issue here, notice I perfectly did nothing but half pi's. The only difference between sine and cosine is that with sine, you start at the origin, okay? With cosine, you start off at the point, which in this case there's a 1, so we start off at 1, okay? So here, we go up. Since we're only dealing with the 1, we only go as far as 1. So on the next half pi, we go up 1. Then we go back to the original, back to our x-axis. Now we're gonna go to a negative 1 on the next one. And then back to original. Then we're gonna go up 1, back to the original, and then down 1. And if we were to continue this pattern, it would be back to center, then up, then center, then down, then center, then up, then center, and so on and so on and so on. Okay? The same thing when you do the negative numbers. Since you started on the negative and you went up, the opposite here, you're gonna go down and then back to the original. Okay? So our line is gonna look something like this. Okay? Obviously over here as well. Okay? So that's our wavy line. Okay? Think of a wave. Okay? Notice it only went up and low as long as 1. Again, if it was 4, then we're going up all the way to 4, and then over here down all the way to 4. Okay, that's the only difference for the A. Depending what number you have in here, that's how high and how low. Obviously, if it was negative 1, we would have went down 1 first, then center, then up 1. Okay, since it's positive, we went up to 1. For cosine, again, since it's positive, we start off at 1. If it was negative, we would have started at negative 1. But since it's positive, we're going to go center, then down 1, then center, then up 1, then center, then down 1, then center. Okay? Again, since we're at the 1, we go center, and then down 1, and then we connect the dots. And there we have our graphs. Okay? Notice that again, when I started off 1 and went down. If you would have been a negative 1, then you would have went up. Okay? Again here, since its origin is positive 1, you went up instead of going down if it would have been negative. Pretty simple, right? Pretty much self-explained. All we have to do today is just a pairing graph. Okay? I want you guys to do, again, use the same 1. The only difference, instead of 1, I want you guys to do 1 with 2 and 1 with y equals -1. Okay? 2 sine and then 2 cosine for theta and a half, and then -1 cosine and -1 sine for theta half. Okay? Let's get into a little bit of both. So we're doing the positive ones, and then we're doing a negative one. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know, guys. Okay? Remember to submit a picture of your notes with your work, and I'll be here waiting for your email.